These are my tips and tricks on how to memorize that really annoying essay. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're trying to memorize an essay and you just cannot get it learnt and you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go from here, and you're kind of just stuck and the essay is not going into your head and you're like, I need to know this, I have an exam soon, what do I do? Relatable. I was there 2 and 3 years ago and I still don't like it to this day. I don't like memorizing essays. I feel like it's a bit of a waste of time. I feel like it's a bit pointless. However, it's something we all have to do, and hence why I have made this video to help you with some things I wish I'd known the first time that like work so well. I used these for all my essays in 5th year, which is year 11 in England and Wales. No, year 10 in England and Wales? Oh, year 11 I think, yeah. And then whenever I was in year 10 in England and Wales, which is year 11 in Northern Ireland, confusing, right? I wish I'd known these. Honestly, I didn't know how to memorize my essays and I did worse in year 11, but better in year 12. And so these are my tips and tricks on how to memorize that really annoying essay. Number 1, write, write, write. Seriously, you will learn your essay so much better by writing it rather than reading it. Reading is not active. Reading is so passive, you can just sit there looking at it all day and it's not really going to get stuck in your head. If you don't know it at all, reading is going to do literally nothing. Writing, however, is so demanding and it cements it into your head, and some of this. Writing is so demanding and it really cements it into your head. You have to literally write every single word by hand out. And also, it mimics the style of the exam. In the exam, you're going to be writing out and you're writing out and writing out, not reading out. And so by doing that, one, it gets you in that exam atmosphere. It also helps you to know what you're going to be doing in the exam. It helps you to see, can you do it in time? But it also really helps to get it into your skull, because that is literally the hardest part of it. With your essay in front of you, write a paragraph at a time. Try to learn each separately. So I would write the introduction about 6 times and hopefully get it into my head. And once I got it into my head, I'd then move on to the next step. Number 2, make a cheat sheet. As you go through your essay, make a cheat sheet of key words and see if you can then write your essay with this cheat sheet. So, for example, if I was to do an introduction, I would say, so this is for Of Mice and Men, I would say novella, that's the type of book. I'd say social conscience writer, that's what kind of writer John Steinbeck was. I'd say 1930s, because that's a hard date to remember. I'd say climates, because that triggers social, economic and cultural climates. Things like that. And then whenever you go through it, you then would look through your cheat sheet and you could write down the novella Of Mice and Men was written by social conscience writer John Steinbeck, who's familiar with the social, economic and cultural climates of 1930s America. Hence, he was familiar with the X thing, for example, the racial prejudices against black people in America, hence the character of Crooks, who is prejudiced due to his skin colour. And that is like a model introduction, so you put the key term in the end, but that's for a different video. And I can still remember those introductions from 4th year, year 10/year 11. Why is it so confusing? But that's because I learnt them so well by using these methods. So yeah, cheat sheet, start with about 7, and then over time gradually bring it down until you've got maybe 1 or 2 words, and then you can lose it completely and the essay should be cemented into your head. Seriously, see these cheat sheets. What I would do is I would go through the paragraph at a time, write it, and if I ever got stuck while writing it, I'd go, okay, I need that word, the next linking word, the next keyword to help form the ideas together in my mind. I would also always put like the idea of the first sentence of each paragraph, so that whenever I'm reading out or writing out the paragraphs, and I got completely stuck, you could just remember the next hook, the next thing that brings you back on and gets you on track. And I found that so helpful, especially in my, what essay was it? It was the one about interviews. It was so useful. Okay, so number 3 is record yourself. Record yourself trying to, or reading your essay, and then try and mimic it. So I'd be lying in bed with my earphones and listening to myself saying my essay, saying the essay along with myself. And it's weird because if a teacher says it, you're not really going to remember it as well. But if you're saying it with your own voice and you have to listen to your own voice, you're going to remember it so much better. I don't know why. It just works. And yeah, I have like old recordings on my old phone of me just talking to myself, trying to get the essay into my head, and like see if I was going anywhere. Like if say I was going around to the shop, stick on the earphones, listen to your essay. It sounds cringy. It really is cringy, but it works. And that's the whole point. I also did it for learning my oral for German. I know there is no oral this year in 2020. However, if you're watching this in the future, I did this for my oral as well. Record yourself saying it and listening to it. It helps so much. Okay, number 4, and the final point, take it slowly. Don't try to learn too much too fast. You'll forget and become overwhelmed. Try to learn 1 or 2 paragraphs a day, or 3 depending on your length obviously, and come back to paragraphs every other day and refresh them in your brain. If you've seen my video about memorisation and forgetting curves, you'll know that you forget things very quickly until you go over them, and then you forget them slower. And if you go over them again, you forget them even slower. And so the more you go over it and the more you space that out, it's called spatial repetition, you'll remember it so much more. Now, obviously, if you don't have a lot of time, you just want to be going over it as much as physically possible, but don't go too fast. Don't try to learn the whole essay in one day, because you're not going to learn the entire essay in one day. I could never. It took me a week or 2 to maybe get it to the point where I could write it out. And practice. I mean, practice writing it out. Can you even do it in your hour or hour and a half that you have? Try it. Like, make sure you try it, because it is so necessary to try that and make sure you're not stuck in the exam thinking, I'm only halfway through and I'm done. Like there's no more time left. You don't want to be in that situation. So that is all I have time for today. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, do all that great stuff. But thank you so much for watching. If you are learning your essays, seriously take these on board. Try to do them, and I wish you all the best for this English exam, because I know how horrific it is to have to memorize 1 or 2 essays at once, as well as all your other exams. But that is all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!